I once again welcome you all, along with Ajay Deshpande and other my senior members will join. And I hope this one-day workshop will be very useful and you will be able to take some learning from it. Thank you.
Moving ahead, I would like to request Mrs. Swara Gawkar to please hand over small token of appreciation to our keynote speaker, Dr. Ajay Deshpande, Adjunct Professor, Center for Policy Studies, IIT Mumbai, and former expert member, Honorable NG. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to invite Mr. Ajay Deshpande, Adjunct Professor, Center for Policy Studies, IIT Mumbai, and former expert member, Honorable NG, to kindly deliver the keynote speech.
Thank you very much. Firstly, very warm greetings on behalf of this World Environment Day. It's a very important event actually. It's not like that we celebrate the World Environment Day or Environment per se once a year. But if just to take a pause, just look backward and just take a view what we have done all these years and then make fresh commentaries. That's important. And this review process always helps to understand where we are, consolidate our plans, and also learn some new things which can be initiated. I'm really grateful to the Goa Pollution Control Board Chairman and the University and all the staff for inviting me over here. I had a great experience about Goa sitting on a table in NGT. Though personally it was really difficult because we are really blessed with the nature. Fantastic Western Ghats, coastal areas, tourism potential, mining industry, all those definitely create environmental issues. And that really starts some litigation process. But I'm really happy the state has taken really giant steps in certain sectors, particularly the topic what I'm talking about, circular economy. It is one of the two states actually only who have prepared the state-specific action plan. I don't know how many of you are aware of that. And second important is in the pollution control board domain, again you are only the second board which has an elaborate enforcement policy. Though it is, I think it is time to take a view and update those things, but having certain things in your hand is always good. And in fact, for a transparent and effective and also some sort of, I will call it, outcome-oriented board, it is necessary to have the enforcement policy. So I'm really glad to be here and thank you very much for inviting me. And I'm also happy that industry people are there. Now, in industrial sector, particularly if you are having some international business, many new environmental terms are floating. Right from net zero to just transition, then they have sustainability and now circular economy. And these terms actually matter in doing the business. May not be very relevant to getting a consent or environmental clearance per se, but if you are going to bank, your ESG count or ESG index will matter. And finally, I'm sure those people who are in the decision making in the industry, they are well versed with these requirements coming from their corporates. And at the same time, these terms are not really new. They are not really what I can say as ab initio type of thing. They are outcome of the continuous process which has really going on for the last period. So I will start with this topic, and then we will, in the subsequent session we will deal with EPR in a little more detailed way. So I am talking about circular economy, and this has got a huge political agenda. If you have heard the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister's speech from the Red Fort, which is a national speech actually, a very clear statement has come from the political class that circular economy is an important activity and it has to take into account multiple dimensions, the social dimensions, the economic dimensions, the natural dimensions, and then we have to talk about and linking it to the carbon emissions. If you really see the circular economy as subject, it's not directly linked to the circular economy in theory, but our political demand is now to link both these together to achieve a consolidated outcome. And believe me, in many speeches afterwards, particularly one speech, if you see in Symbiosis in Pune, the Prime Minister really spoke more than a technical person on this circular economy, how the circular economy evolved and how it has to be practiced. So today there is a huge interest in this subject which will help the industry as well as all the environmental regulators to ensure the sustainability. Next. And this has been followed in subsequent major regulatory part, that is the budget. And as all of you know, the budget speech is actually a speech which translates government vision into action. And here also the circular economy has been really emphasized very nicely. And in fact, it has talked about different cross-sectoral issues like infrastructure, reverse logistics, technology upgradation, integration with the formal sector, and all those are relevant even for plastic. Okay. And then it talks about different policy initiatives, including the regulations, EPRs, and then what we talk about innovation. That's also important. Next. So, as Chairman in fact mentioned, there is always a debate. I will not call it as a conflict, but there are always two sides of this particular debate on economic development and environment. We are talking about economic development because we are large in numbers, population is growing, our young population is comparatively very high, they have aspirations to grow, and this requires a really significant development push. So that's why there is a push on infrastructure, industrial development, as well as consolidating service sectors and others. But at the same time, this also has an environmental footprint. And he was referring to Sweden actually, and recently I remember most of these initiatives actually have started from Sweden, right from 72 conference, even right yesterday there was end of this conference called Stockholm 50, because we are now closing this 50 years. And if you see most of these Nordic states, they have a welfare state. They encourage the people to work for the society. But we don't have that concept. We have to reach to that particular level. But yes, we have our own problems. We see the growth of the cities, but we are not able to solve the problem of sewage or maybe the solid waste process. And this is an issue of a really dilemma. We have aspirations to grow, but we expect somebody to do that. If we have aspirations to live in the towers or in a big house, we expect that the solid waste should be managed by somebody else. Okay, that's the problem. At the same time, we have perception problem. We don't feel much bad if there is uncleanliness. But if you go to Europe, many of you must have gone outside and seen, it's beautiful and you feel beautiful there. Okay, everything is nicely arranged, everything is nicely managed. But at the same time, we have a great debate on our environmental rights. It's section 12, like Article 21, then powers to go to entity, but at the same time, we generally forget, at least I can quote myself, that Constitution has given the responsibility also, duty also. And that conflict, always the rights get more prominence than the duties first. But now gradually government is including the duties in the regulation, and the EPR is one of the way it has been put into that particular sector. This is one theoretical curve. Many of you must have heard about Prudent curve. Actually, there is a development versus the environmental status, and then at some point, when the environment, at some point, when the development reaches at the top, there is an environmental consciousness which really propagates the resource conservation and other activities. Next page. So coming to the circular economy, you have different benefits like reducing environmental footprint, generate increased wealth, reduce all these hours, initially 3 hours, now 5 hours, now we are talking about 12 hours, and then minimize the waste. And this is broad spectrum of the circular economy, very wide sort of objectives. Yeah, next slide please. And then if you see the definitions of the circular economy, they vary from one sector to other as well as one institute to other. But the core thing is, it is restorative and regenerative. That's important. You can use those resources very effectively for the purpose it has been used. It is not recycle or it is not reutilization. It is basically restorative and regenerative. That's important. Yeah, next one. Another thing, it is not something come out of blue. It is an outcome of continuous effort going on. And there are, all of you are aware about various programs, UNIDO and other activities, UNEP carried out, something like waste minimization, pollution prevention program of the World Bank, and then we have green productivity. All so many initiatives have taken, and now we have moved to a level of circular economy. In fact, this is a 2 years old diagram, 2-3 years old diagram. So now the canvas has further extended to call something called as a green economy. So the ideas are evolving, the concepts are evolving, the contours of those themes are evolving, and at the same time, the technical details are also coming very significantly. The next one. And then if you see, there are four ingredients of this circular economy approach, where you talk about employment, entrepreneurship, innovation and investment. And the center two, entrepreneurship and the innovation are really key. And how it is, I can explain in subsequent and also in the next session we can discuss about that. And that's why you see many startups are now coming into this particular sector. They are coming in the waste management sector, in the circular economy sector, and we are really will be able to generate significant manpower or jobs on these particular two sides. And these are metal foundation diagrams which I have just superimposed few of the things like production, use and other. And basically it talks about the life cycle. What is circularity? Means nothing but extension of the life cycle thinking also. Unless and until we imbibe that culture of the life cycle thinking, if I am talking about a flower and I am just putting the flower outside, I must think about how this flower has reached my table. Somebody has taken significant efforts in developing that flower and bringing it to me. And if I am investing it, then I should be conscious about its environmental footprint. Similar thing, in fact, we learned in our childhood not to throw anything in the plate. And then somebody used to scold in the elders in the family used to scold. The farmer has taken so much of efforts, he has grown this thing and finally it has landed here. So it is not really worth to just dispose it or throw it unutilized. So that's the life cycle thinking we are talking about in the circular economy. Yeah, next one. So some concepts we will clear it in the next session, but the part is the circular economy is not recycling. This is very important because normally when we talk about circular economy, everybody thinks it is recycling and reutilization. No, it is not like that. It is a combination of regenerative and restorative programs, not the recycling. And then if you see the circular economy, it can be applied in 3 levels particularly. I am coming from bottom. The first one, which is always debated and which is the main function of the pollution control board, is the downstream processes. Once the waste is generated, what to do with it? Either it can be recycled, reused, reutilized. There are different R's which are applicable here. But for that, you need to effectively segregate. Unless you segregate, the intended purpose of the R's actually will not be really effective. Now, how to ensure that segregation? That's the challenge actually the regulators are facing. The municipal solid waste has a provision for that, but it is across the country it is not really effective. And I think there is a requirement of huge digitization in that. Now just to quote Sweden, they have 8 bins. In every apartment, at the bottom they have, in fact incidentally, my son stays there, we personally saw last month, and 8 bins, and we just thought how they can do it. And they used to go somewhere about 500 meters to dump that waste. And that's really challenging, but unless and until the society is sensitized on that, the segregation may not be really effective. Now the center part, where actually the Pollution Control Board can act and should act, and what Chairperson mentioned about the facilitation process, I think that's at the center part, where the cleaner technology options, the green chemistry, and the innovations can play an important role. This may not be a very completing mandate under the Water Act or Air Act, but always it comes under the facilitation. It can be taken up as a part of the standards making process. Unfortunately, hardly 1 or 2 examples, but standards are not framed by the state Pollution Control Board, though they have full mandate to notify the standards under Water and Air. Always it is left to CPCB and MOEF for that matter. But if we can develop certain environmental benchmarks in the form of some sort of like something like PREP what we used to have, then these 3 options can be effectively implemented. And there were programs of the World Bank as well as the MOEF on the cleaner technology, cleaner production programs. But the first part, which is generally not within the Pollution Control Board mandate, is upstreaming activities. It is sustainable procurement practices and also the replacement of the chemicals in the different manufacturing process. It can be directly brought if we are talking about the automobile industry. Most of the electroplating parts, they are just outsourcing only because if you have the electroplating, then it converts into red category industries, which is having additional fees, additional scrutinies, and earlier the electroplating, if it is more than 1 crore, it used to require environmental clearance. So all this regulatory part actually triggered the decentralization of this polluting activities. So sustainable procurement practice, which is very important event and particular industries now have that particular program, greening the supply chain and all other things. And then we have the chemical. This is a very important step actually. I just want to elaborate on that. Because when we talk about waste avoidance, we need to innovate. And then you can find some different alternatives, chemical processes, including the green chemistry, where you can reduce the quantities of the waste. Next one. So I will just leave, I will take this in the next session. Okay, this is again trying to link the circular economy with the climate as well as the SDG. And then there is a huge global agenda now. Everybody is talking about circular economy, ESG and the sustainability. These 3 terms are so common in the conversation now. Everybody claims that, okay, I am very familiar with these 3 terms, but it is happening. If you open up the Economic Times or Financial Express, something like that, there will be an article, minimum 1 article on either of these 3. So this is a language of the industry also. At the same time, the Companies Act also makes mandatory to declare the sustainability report. And also now, I don't know how many of you are aware, Section 166 of the Companies Act gives a responsibility on the directors to not only take care of their stakeholders, but environment also, statutory. So it has become a global agenda, and I think all of us need to work for it, which will have more benefits in terms of reduction in pollution, better compliance level, and most importantly, competitiveness through reducing the wastages. That's more important. Because unless and until you are competitive, I think all these terms are really do not matter. Yeah. Next one. Please go. So these are the some of the important policy pillars actually, like policy initiatives, then amendments in the regulation, technology, economic instruments, and one of the economic instruments is the EPR, what we will be talking about. Awareness and advocacy and research and development. The next one, please. So some of these areas actually are available. These tools are available for industries as well as regulators, and where you can always think. Take an example of circular infrastructure. I really don't know Goa has CGD or not, But CTP is one of the way to provide the circular infrastructure. And then you can always try to think about like solvent extraction. Many pharma units may be here. So a lot of spent solvent is generated. That spent solvent is either, I don't know where it goes, or it can be just given to some common solvent recovery plants. So instead of that, if we can provide in-house solvent recovery systems with some recovery standards type of thing, the large industries can always go for that. And then there is a benchmarking and best available practices, and then we have innovation and all the approaches also. And next one. So I think another 2 minutes. Okay. So, so I will take just a case study type of thing, very short, 2-3 minutes. Like circular economy and hazardous waste. I think this is a perfect thing for this particular gathering, because hazardous waste is generated, and if you see the regulation, practically significant streams of the waste generated from the industries are categorized as hazardous waste. And all of us know, maybe about 15 years back, there was no effective regulation of the hazardous waste, and everything was really finding ways in environment. But 2003 Supreme Court order really changed the concepts. It really enforced the regulation in a very effective way, and it came with common hazardous facilities in terms of either the landfills or the incineration. And I remember a huge debate between Goa and Maharashtra. The waste coming from Goa was not really allowed in Maharashtra at that point of time. So, and also this was the first time where the industry felt the pinch, because disposal of the hazardous waste was charged. You have to pay for it in terms of membership, and also on a larger basis, how much waste you send, you have to pay for it, depending upon the quality and type and what stabilization it requires. So yes, it was an additional cost to the industry. And as I said, unless you are competitive, you cannot practice any other thing. So naturally the industry found that this is the area where a lot of money can be saved if we innovate, if we change ourselves. And then the challenges in the hazardous waste management were inventory. That is even today a big challenge, and I think last year some guidelines have been issued by CTC on how to conduct inventory. But still, it's a very uncertain area. Then data reliability, which is linked to that, and then the hazardous waste composition also. And the circular economy approach really looks into it from two sides. One is called CRM, critical raw material, and SRM, that is secondary raw material. And as you know, we are talking about EV vehicles, electrical vehicles now. But batteries require a lot of critical elements like lithium and all others, which India do not produce. We are totally dependent. And this hazardous waste may at times generate or contain this type of CRM or SRM, and that's why circular economy approach promotes recycling. And then we have technologies, and as I mentioned, most of the efforts are in the downstream side, essentially. But waste avoidance and reduction is not really getting regulatory priority. Like in the US, I can give an example. There is a program called 5x33, which was initiated long back in '85, where they identified 5 chemicals, and those 5 chemicals had to be removed from the entire manufacturing chain. And if not, at least 33% of that should be reduced in 5 years. So something like that. And now, I'm really happy to mention here, like on this sector, not only this, in the circular economy sector, Government of India has formed about 11 sectoral expert committees as a follow-up to the Honorable Prime Minister's speech, and they have submitted a report, and DPR has summed up that report in one consolidated report, and now actions are going on. And in fact, under the hazardous waste section, CPCB has identified 9 types of waste which are significant, which can be reduced substantially adopting the circular economy. And there we are talking about, first time we are talking about waste reduction and waste avoidance. These two terms are really getting priority because of the political intervention issues. Yeah, go ahead. So just to give an example how the numerics are deceptive. So if you can see, the landfillable waste, the authorized quantity is something about 6 million. Okay. And the disclosed is around 2.4. So the concentrate that is allowable and the actual, there is a huge gap. If you see the total generation which is authorized under the hazardous waste regulation, it is 40 million tons. And actual generation is about 8.6. And this can be because the hazardous waste disposal is a financially negative proposition. And definitely industries have tried or industries have invented some mechanism. I really don't know. There is no data. There is maybe use of green chemistry or there can be use of some waste minimization practices, but the waste quantities have reduced. But when we can reduce from 40 to 8, why not further try and bring it down to some manageable extent? Because as everybody knows, even 8.6 we are not able to manage today. We are not able to have an effective regulatory control on that. So circular economy can definitely help on this curve, and some of this quantity could be because of CE practices. It is not documented, it is not circulated, so unfortunately we are not able to show it as a benchmark first. Yeah, next one. And then we have multiple regulations, as you know, on this waste management. Please go ahead. Okay, so some of these initiatives actually which I think boards should claim that some of these things have really helped to reduce the quantity of hazardous waste is inventorization. Now it's annual inventorization, mandatory inventorization. I think there are guidelines from CPCB that the pollution control officials should conduct some minimum environmental audits to verify the data which is given by the industry, because still today the entire data or entire inventory is based on the information given by the industry. There is no audit for it. And then we have the digitalization of the entire life cycle. That's very important actually, manifestation. And now there is a centralized portal, at least in the EPR, which can develop this thing. And then we have a very significant role being played by NGT and other judicial authorities, where huge penalties are imposed in case of non-compliance. So that's the polluter pays principle which is coming in a very big way. I don't know if today I'm talking about a scientist, as a scientist, not as a NGT member, but I think there is a need that there is a huge research conducted on the environmental damage assessment and also environmental restitution and sort of remediation efforts, because judiciary works on judicial principles, but as a technical organization, we as a board, the precautionary principles should be really not used at all, because science has gone so further that we can identify the risk in a very effective way, and we are also able to quantify the risk. So if we know the type of the risk as well as the quantification of the risk, there is no point in using the precautionary principle. And in the European Union, in fact, they have decided by 2025 they will stop use of precautionary principle from technical point of view. In judiciary, it will be there, no doubt about that. So I think that's one area which is emerging, and that is what I mentioned. And now we are talking about new type of regulations like REACH, ROHS, and labeling and packaging. I think that is very interesting to read if you can read. And then even Minamata, mercury disease, and all other things. So these are the tools which are being adopted to aid and support the circular economy. Okay. This is not the end of it. We have to be really innovative in regulations, like environmental benchmarking and other things can definitely help to go in a big way. So thank you very much. I think I can give you more problem.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Moving ahead, I would like to request Mrs. Brenda Carlos to please come on stage and hand over with small token of appreciation to our chief guest, Shri Nilesh Kabral, Honorable Minister of Public Works Department and Environment, Government of Goa. परिचय सुवाळ्या आदी दिवो पेटयल्यार दैवी कृपा पातळटा अशें मानतात. With this, I may request all the dignitaries and I may take pleasure in inviting Shri Dinesh Kapral, Honorable Minister for PWD and Environment, Government of Goa, Shri Arun Kumar Mishra, IAS, Secretary Environment, Government of Goa, Dr. Ajay Deshpande, Adjunct Professor, Center for Policy Studies, IIT Mumbai, and former expert member, Honorable MEP, Shri Mahesh Patil, Chairman, Goa State Pollution Control Board, Dr. Shamira Montero, Member Secretary, Goa State Pollution Control Board. Please join us for land lighting. Thank you all. With this auspicious start, and before I move further, I may like to request dignitaries on the dais to please join us for the release of our annual report 2021-22. An annual report is a comprehensive report detailing a board's activity through the preceding financial year. Its purpose is to provide users with information about the board's operation and performance. It's my great pleasure to introduce our major sponsor, Deccan Fine Chemicals, who has sponsored the event with T-shirt. Now I would like to request official of Deccan Fine Chemicals, Shri Madhukar Kumar, Environment Manager, to join us on the stage for launch of T-shirt. संसारिक पर्यावरण दिसानिमित्त दोन सर्तीचे आयोजन केले. Were organized quiz competition on 2nd June 2022 at Secretariat Hall for various government departments and industries from private sectors. Total 47 teams were a part of the competition. आता वेळ आयला जैतिवंत इनाम भेटवपाचे. हांव मागता भौमानिस्ट श्री दिनेश कापराल, Honorable Minister of PWD and Environment, इताणे जैतिवंताचो भोवमान करपाचो. Let us begin with the winner of this competition. First place, secured by Cipla Limited, Shri Swapnil Shinde, represented by Shri Swapnil Shinde and Shri Shel Adke. Chandu. Goa State Biodiversity Board, represented by Mrs. Reshma Kelkar and Mrs. Simran Sharma. Third place secured by Sanofi India Limited, represented by Shri Nikit Talwalkar and Shri Viraj Patel. First translation prize secured by Nestle India Limited, represented by Shri Manish Kumar and Shri Vipul Sachetan. Please give a big round of applause. Second translation prize, Adani Managua Post Terminal Private Limited, Shri Vibhor Srivastav and Shri Prithviraj Lakshmikant. Thank you, sir. The quiz was conducted by very renowned quizmaster Shri Sujit Dongre, Scientist Chef, Center for Environmental Education. Now I request our chief guest to felicitate Shri Sujit Dongre with small token of appreciation. Please give a big round of applause. Second event organized by on 3rd June 2022 a poster competition based on the UNEP theme United Nations Environment Program theme Only One Earth in the various categories. We get immense pleasure to inform that industry Faber-Castell had sponsored a return token for participation of poster competition, whereas Nestle India Limited has sponsored by distributing the chocolate for the kids. Now I may request representative of Nestle India Limited, Shri Sanjay Bhandari, Aid Factory Corporate Officer Affairs, and representative of Faber-Castell, Shri Sunil Bhatikar, Director Manufacturing Operation, to join us on the stage. To give away the prizes of the poster competition. May I request the parents of the children who could not make the event, please accept the prizes. In special category, for the age of 2.5 to 3 years, first prize secured by Shrey Gawkar. Second prize, Second prize, Lyra Menezes. Third prize, Cat Menezes. And the consolation prize, Aradhya Vinuskar. Please give a big round of applause. Aradhya Vinuskar. First prize secured by State Advance. Second prize secured by Nirut B. Shade. Third prize Advika Rakesh Agarwadekar. Third prize Advika Rakesh Agarwadekar. Fourth consolation prize Arya Paresh Rao. Arya Paresh Rao, fourth prize.
Yes.
Fifth consolation prize Rizal M. Ghosh. First prize Niravi R9. First prize Niravi R9. Second prize Prithvi Gajanan 9. Second prize Prithvi Gajanan 9. Third prize Sanjeevani Girodkar. Third prize Sanjeevani Girodkar. Fourth prize, fourth consolation prize Reyes Walworth Fernandez. Please give me a round of applause. Fifth consolation prize Kush Pednekar. Fifth consolation prize Kush Pednekar. In senior category, that is 12 years to 16 years, first prize Urvi Gurudat Naik. First prize Urvi Gurudat Naik.
Look at the stage, don't look at the
Second prize Shloka Hadankar. Third prize Ayushi Rakesh Agarwadekar. Third prize Ayushi Rakesh Agarwadekar. Fourth prize Sanika Kamkar. Fourth prize Sanika Kamkar. Fifth prize Pranjal Sripara. Fifth prize Pranjal Sripara. Pranjal, fifth consolation prize. Moving next, now I kindly request our guest of honor, Shri Arun Kumar Mishra, IS, Secretary Environment, to felicitate our sponsor by giving token of gratitude. Shri Sunil Bhatikar, Director Manufacturing Operation, Faber-Castell. Shri Madhukar Kumar, Environmental Manager, Deccan Fine Chemicals. Shri Madhukar Kumar. And Shri Sanjay Bhandari, Head Factory Corporate Affairs, Nestle India Limited. Thank you, sir. Now I will request our Chief Guest, Shri Nilesh Kautal, Honorable Minister of PWD and Environment, to felicitate our eminent speaker and expert of the today's seminar, which is scheduled in the post-lunch session. I kindly request Dr. Vivek K, Scientist D, Regional Directorate, Bangalore, Central Pollution Control Board, to come up on the stage.
Thank you.
kindly request Shri Devatta Banerjee, Director, Sampurna Environment Solution Private Limited, Mumbai, please come up on the stage. Thank you, sir. Now I call upon our guest of honor, Shri Arun Kumar Mishra, IAS Secretary, to address the gathering.
आदरणीय श्री नीतीश काबरा सर, पर्यावरण मंत्री गोवा सरकार, देशपांडे साहब, महेश पाटिल साहब, मैडम शंकर, सबसे पहले तो मैं आप सबको बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ देता हूँ पर्यावरण दिवस की कि इतनी भारी संख्या में आप लोग आए। राजनीतिक रैलियों में भी गोवा में मैंने इतने लोग नहीं देखे जितने आज यहाँ दिखे, तो ये आपकी चेतना और जागरूकता का बहुत बड़ा परिणाम है। ऑडियंस पर्यावरण के बारे में, इन्वायरमेंट के बारे में बहुत सारी चीजें आती है। देशपांडे साहब ने काफी डॉक्टरेट लेक्चर दिया, आगे जैसा आप भी देंगे। मैं तो एक पर्सपेक्टिव सेट करना चाहता हूँ कि मेरे जैसे जो लोग नॉन एक्सपर्ट हैं वो इस पोल्यूशन का, इन्वायरमेंट प्रॉब्लम का एक पर्सपेक्टिव समझने का प्रयास करें। मैंने भी समझा, इसको प्रयास किया, नहीं तो बहुत लोगों से पढ़ता रहा था कि प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट है। आपको विश्वास शायद नहीं होगा कि हमारी कोविड पैंडेमिक जो आई 2 साल रही, उसके दरमियान भी जबकि मैसिव लॉकडाउन हुए, सब कुछ हुआ, लेकिन कार्बन ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट कम नहीं हुआ, शायद बढ़ ही गया। 2021 में ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट हाईएस्ट रहा आज तक के पृथ्वी के इतिहास में। इसका एक पर्सपेक्टिव यदि और हम जाए तो 1750 को यदि हम बेंचमार्क लें प्री इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन का, तो उस समय जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का प्रोडक्शन होता था और आज उसमें 123% की वृद्धि हुई है, 123% जो है वृद्धि हुई है। आप मीथेन पे जाएं, अनदर कंट्रीब्यूटर फॉर ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट, ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस, उसमें 262% की वृद्धि हुई है। नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड अनदर कंपोनेंट 123%। अच्छा, ये ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट 1750 के बाद डेवलप होना कैसे शुरू हुई, हमारी इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन आई, सबसे बड़ा सोर्स बना फॉसिल फ्यूल का। फॉसिल फ्यूल आया, इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन, कोल ड्रिवन रहा, कोल और फॉसिल फ्यूल मिलके उन्होंने हमें इस लेवल तक पहुंचाया। तो अब उससे हमके इफेक्ट एटमॉस्फेरिक टेम्परेचर में कितना आया, 1.09 सेंटीग्रेड का 2021 तक का अंतर आ चुका है। ये 1850 और 1900 का हम मीन निकालेंगे तो 1.09 सेंटीग्रेड का एवरेज टेम्परेचर बढ़ चुका है आज। और जो कि यदि हम एसडीजी गोल्स को फॉलो नहीं करें तो 2050 तक इट मस्ट बी रीच टू 2 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड का मोर। अब ये तो पूरे वर्ल्ड की बात हो गई। अब गोवा पे उसके कैसे इफेक्ट आ रहे हैं आप देखें। जैसा आप जानते हैं समुद्र की अपर लेयर 2000 मीटर जो अपर लेयर है वो हीट हो रही है, गर्म हो रही है, जो कि एक्सपर्ट्स का मानना है। उस हीटिंग में इम्पैक्ट क्या रहा है, क्यों हो रही है? हीटिंग इसलिए हो रही है कि एंथ्रोपोजेनिक कार्बन जो हम जनरेट कर रहे हैं उसका 23% हमारी अपर लेयर जो है सोख कर रही है, एब्जॉर्ब कर रही है। उसको सोख करने से क्या इम्पैक्ट आ रहा है, पीएच वैल्यू घट रही है। वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री में, नॉन वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री में पीएच वैल्यू शायद सबसे लोएस्ट पॉइंट पे चली गई है आज। पीएच वैल्यू नीचे जाने से क्या हो रहा है, एसिडिक नेचर बढ़ रहा है। एसिडिक नेचर बढ़ने से, पीएच वैल्यू घटने से और स्ट्रेटोस्फीयर के कॉम्बिनेशन से, स्ट्रेटोस्फीयर जो हमारा है पृथ्वी के जस्ट ऊपर की जो ऑर्बिट है, जहाँ मैक्सिमम क्लाइमेट चेंजेस होते हैं, 75% ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंजेस आपके स्ट्रेटोस्फीयर में होते हैं, जिसमें 99% वाटर वेपर और वाटर मास होता है। तो यदि यही सरफेस आपकी हीट हो गई तो इरेटिक वेदर कंडीशन जो आप देखते हैं वो हमें दिखाई देते हैं। जैसे गोवा में भी आप देखें, कहा जा रहा है कारवार तक आके मानसून रुका हुआ है, कारवार से चले गए, जैसे कोई बैरियर लगा हो, तो दिस इज नथिंग बट द क्लाइमेट चेंज एंड इरेटिक बिहेवियर इन स्ट्रेटोस्फीयर। अब गोवा की हम प्रेस करते हैं, जो वर्ल्ड बैंक ने पैरामीटर निकाले हैं सर एसडीजी गोल्स के लिए। टोटल 14 गोल में गोवा 12 गोल्स में सबसे या तो ऊपर है या नंबर 2-3 पोजीशन पे है। लेकिन आज पर्यावरण दिवस के अवसर पे जिस मुद्दे पे हम बात कर रहे हैं, क्लाइमेट चेंज पे, क्लाइमेट को बचाने के लिए, उस गोल में गोवा शायद सबसे नीचे है। गोवा सबसे नीचे है, गुजरात जस्ट उसके ऊपर। ये क्या है, हमारा इंडिकेटर्स क्या है? फॉसल फ्यूल कंजम्पशन, यानी कि गोवा में पर व्यक्ति जो आपका फॉसल फ्यूल से ड्रिवन होने वाले व्हीकल्स हैं या जो भी इक्विपमेंट्स हैं वो बहुत अधिक हैं। नाइट्रोजन बेस्ड जो आपकी खाद है, फर्टिलाइजर्स हैं, उसका नेशनल एवरेज में सबसे ज़्यादा यूज हमारे गोवा में है। लास्ट में आप आए तो वो लास्ट वाली लिमिटेशन हमारी बड़ी है सर, हमारे फॉरेन मिनिस्टर भी रहे एग्रीमेंट भारत सरकार से रिक्वेस्ट किया हमने कि बायो एनर्जी जनरेशन वी आर लास्ट ऑन दैट। जो पिछले जब मैं 2-3 महीने रहा पावर सेक्रेटरी सर्कल लीडरशिप में हम लोग गए थे, वी परचेज सम बायो एनर्जी फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, नाउ इट इज अप टू 17% एंड आवर टारगेट इज रीच टू 30%। प्रोफेसर मोहन विल करेक्ट मी, आई थिंक बाय 2030। इन 3 इंडिकेटर्स पे जो डायरेक्टली मैंने बात की ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट का है, इसलिए हम थोड़ा पीछे हैं। बायो हैजार्ड वेस्ट में या बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट में उस पर मैं डायरेक्ट कनेक्ट नहीं, इसलिए उस पर चर्चा नहीं करूंगा। तो व्हाट इज द वे आउट? अभी देशपांडे साहब को मैं सुन रहा था, सबसे इशू इम्पोर्टेंट है कि टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनोवेशन। जब तक टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनोवेशन नहीं होगा तब तक इसके सोल्यूशन नहीं मिलेंगे। सोल्यूशन सिंपल है, फॉसल फ्यूल को आपका कंजम्पशन करना, नेट जीरो इमिशन पे लाना है, आपका कोल से जो आपकी पावर प्रोड्यूस होती है उसको नीचे लाना है। तो अब कोई वैदिक एज में या प्री इंडस्ट्रियल एज में तो जा नहीं सकता, जान भली चली जाएगी, विदाउट लाइफ तो कोई नहीं रहेगा। तो हमारी टेक्नोलॉजी के जो ड्राइवर्स हैं, जो लोग लीडर्स हैं, और पर्टिकुलरली फंडिंग, हम इंडिया में जब बात करते हैं किसी भी इशू पे तो वी टॉक अबाउट वेरी बिग पिक्चर, लेकिन वेयर आर द फंड्स? फंड्स आर द क्रिटिकल इशू। तो फंड्स फिर टेक्नोलॉजी इनोवेशन के लिए जो हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, जो लोग हैं, वो ऑनेस्टली एफर्ट करें कि जो टेक्नोलॉजी सोल्यूशन दे रहे हैं वो सुपरफिशियल नहीं है। ऐसा नहीं है कि बस आया, सरकार को दिखाया, कुछ दिन चला, कुछ दिन बाद पता चला कि पोल्यूशन हो गया, जाके पोल्यूशन होती इक्विपमेंट्स में कर दिया, वो इक्विपमेंट ही अपने आप पोल्यूशन हो गया कि रिसाइकल के लिए एक और इंडस्ट्री लगानी पड़ गई। तो चैलेंजेस हमारे आगे इम्पोर्टेंट ये है कि बायो फॉसल फ्यूल पे डिपेंडेंसी कैसे कम करें, फूड प्रोडक्शन में कैसे कम करें, और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पर्टिकुलरली गोवा के संदर्भ में हम अपना इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस मेंटेन करते हुए अपना डेवलपमेंट ऐसे करें कि हम रेवेन्यू रिच हों और जो प्रयोग एनवायरमेंटल डेवलपमेंट के लिए हम करना चाहें हम कर सकें। इसी के साथ में अपने को आई एम नॉट एक्सपर्ट ऑन दिस इशू, आई हैव गिवन अ वेरी जनरल व्यू। मैं आपको पुनः बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ। मैं माननीय मंत्री जी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि इनकी लीडरशिप में हमने जब ज्वाइन किया तो 7% जो बायो एनर्जी का परसेंटेज था 70% तक हम पहुँच चुके हैं, एंड वी विल सर्टेनली अचीव द न्यू हाइट्स। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
And for now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call upon our chief guest, Shri Nilesh Kabral, Honorable Minister of PWD and Environment, Government of Goa.
We are between morning and afternoon. So just a very good morning and a very good afternoon to all present for the World Environment Day function. For the team One Earth, Tapki team only One Earth, amongst which we have as keynote speaker and guest of honor, who is the adjunct professor at Center of Policy Studies, IIT Mumbai, advisor to ADB Bank, Shri Dr. Ajay Deshpande, Secretary of Environment, Ms. Mishra, Chairman of Goa Pollution Control Board, Ms. Mahesh, Member Secretary of Goa Pollution Board, Madam Sharmila, we have Garbage Management, Levinson Bab, all other dignitaries of the dais, representatives of various companies, government officials, members of Pollution Control Board, ladies, gentlemen, and my press brothers and sisters. First of all, I think we are all here today for various reasons. And as part of the industry, I am very happy to note that more than 150 different industries have participated in this program, and they have enrolled themselves for this wonderful function which we are going to post the inaugural function. And I wish them to understand what is best for us, for the state of Goa, to interact with each other, and Goa Pollution Control Board, who is the nodal agency, in maintaining this harmony within the industry and the environment in the state of Goa. I think Mishra ji has already pointed out a lot of things what we want to learn. But taking this forward, I would like to also tell the keynote speakers today who will be addressing this function subsequently, and they will give their inputs on how to go forward. But in the political class, we always try to balance between people's expectations from us, and people's expectations from us are from different forums. Whether we have environmentalists, whether we have the industry, whether we have the common people, and as political class we have to see the balancing act and see that the sustainable development model is more focused in the state of Goa. Now when we say sustainable model agenda, then it comes to livelihood. And when you find that mostly livelihood is the focus point of development of individuals, and then the sustainability model goes into a back burner. But what we can all see today is that we as the industry and as people and as a political class, including the administrative class, we all have to work hand in hand to see that the objectives which are required to keep our mother, our nation, our beautiful Goa for the future generation, we all have to work in hand in hand. Whatever said and done, we have a lot of laws. I being a law minister of the state also, if you go to see, if we follow all the laws, I will not be able to move from this place. But anyhow, the laws and the respect to the laws and the respect to the environment, Mother Earth, I think we all have to take it on ourselves. We just cannot blame the others. Normally we have a focus on blaming others. We don't blame ourselves. But on this occasion, I would like to blame ourselves, myself first, for being part of the entire, forget political class. I am also responsible for each one's destruction, including mine. And each one of us, I think, should take the responsibility to see that whatever best we can do, to see that our next generation gets a better Mother Earth, including Goa and its surrounding areas, which I think we as individuals will have to work towards that goal. I know it becomes difficult, as Mishra ji has said, that the parameters what we have discussed, I will not repeat them, these are the 3 parameters, and these indexes, when ultimately we come to focus, is as he said, one important point what he said is power generation. We require electricity for everybody to consume, whether it is from a smaller section of society to the biggest section of society, to the biggest industrial house, to the smallest businessman. We all require power, and we all know that our entire major consumption of power is through thermal sources, and that is why when we say, like when Mishra ji said that our parameters as individuals are concerned, and we are the highest consuming fossil fuel in the country, is because we may be less, population of Goa is very less, but we have got 20 tons of floating population coming into Goa, in the state of Goa, and that is why these parameters are exceeding. But that is why the state government has always put the focal point in bringing fossil fuel levels down. I remember Goa when I was the power minister and the renewable energy minister, and now the present minister also is focusing, where renewables are the focus, and being on the focus, we have seen that the renewable energy, where 50% to the individual houses, where nowhere in the country we are giving the solar subsidy to the common people. But somehow I am not satisfied. I am not satisfied because we as individuals have not taken the option. We can always blame others. We can foresee that Honorable Prime Minister makes a big commitment in the world. But how are we responsible for it? When the Honorable Prime Minister makes a commitment, that we as individuals are also all responsible to take his goals to the nation's goals. Otherwise we say it is his goals. He has made a commitment, it is for him to decide. I think this psychologically we all have to say that I am responsible. Even if tomorrow if I have not done something, then I am responsible. And we should correct our action, and we start saying that all of us, me, I, is responsible, and I think this nation, this world will have a different way of going forward. Today, on this World Environment Day and the function what is being organized by Goa State Pollution Control Board to have the theme, only one earth. I think when we say only one earth, that is I as an individual also, I also belong to this Mother Earth. and I will make a start. I will make a difference. I will see that things where we can give for our next generation is the responsibility of me as me and I as I. So this is where we all have to focus. And I think I will request all my colleagues, all my friends, all my well-wishers and all the people addressed who have come for this wonderful function that start with the I, what I from what you go away. Start with the I, that I will do this, and automatically I think, I remember another word of the Honorable Prime Minister, when I do not throw garbage out, or I do not litter, if everybody believes in I, then who will litter and who will make this mother earth problem? I think we have to find ways and means where we as individuals are responsible. We as individuals feel that this belongingness has to come to us, and then all these other environmental, global climate changes and everything fall in place. I've seen ultimately Nilesh Kabral, though he is the Prudent Minister, though he is also a law minister, though he is a minister for legislature, but I being the Minister for Environment also, it is my moral obligation. But without the support of each and every one of you, it is difficult for anybody, whether me or somebody else, to take this goals forward. And I think with the request today on the theme, only one, all the keynote speakers will give their addresses. Each one of you have to believe. I'm stressing it. I must have said 20 times I now today. I. It is because we have to focus, I have to focus, including you all eyes, where we can take this goal ahead in the society. Thank you all. And I wish the Goa State Pollution Control Board, who is a nodal agency, to keep our environment in the state of Goa, takes along with their entire team, takes to the logical end, gives. I know today we say when we visit other parts of the world, we say they are very clean, they are going through all norms. But I think here exercising norms. When I say I'm repeating it again, the 21st step, that when I start exercising the norms, then the other norms where the Pollution Control Board, where they have got a big law list where they can find, recover fines, and that automatically will stop. But since such time comes where we become I think I request Goa State Pollution Control Board, who is Mahesh Babu is the chairman and member secretary, Shantulabha is there, request them to go all out and see that what has not happened in a few years, where people have defaulted in various ways, whether it is industry, whether the individuals, whether it is government himself. I think you should go out, tackle this issue so that we all are becoming again I'm reporting before I was saying, I become individually responsible. Today there are a lot of government officers also who are here, video officers are there. I think you as government officials can make a difference in today's society. You as government officials can make a change by implementing various laws which are there, not because you want to implement it, but because we as Indians or we as Goans find that only when you see, because we see the statistics today, when the fine of road level fines, when the fines increase, you find the statistics coming down, because people now at 100 rupees become 5,000 rupees. So shelling out from their pocket becomes difficult, and that is why they make all these things, the road accidents have come down. It's all because of this. So I think we all have to work. Wishing you all a very happy Environment Day. Let us protect Mother Earth. Let us give something to our future generation, which we have inherited from our past generation, who have kept so much for us. And I think this so much has to be given to our next generation. I wish you all the best in this motto. And as I said, I'm winding up my speech by saying I am responsible for all the destruction in Goa. This is the way we all have to believe that I am responsible for the destruction and will make a change. Thank you. God bless you.